Just proud of my guys. The way that we bounced back from yesterday's game where it was so one-sided. Needed a huge performance on the mound, and Doug gave us that. I think he would admit maybe not his sharpest day with all his pitches, but just a really gutsy performance. And what those that have watched him pitch all year have seen. That's why he's so good. There's days where maybe he's not as sharp stuff-wise, but always able to make a pitch and get off the field, and he did that today. But today, really the story. It's amazing. Usually on Doug Day, we talk about Doug, but it was really the offense. Starting with Zebo, huge home run after they got 2 in the first. I thought that was big, and then we were able to continue to extend it with homers. Big homer by Coop and Keenan, and of course Gray at the end.
All right, raise your hand, and we'll get a mic to you for questions for the student athletes. Harris?
Yeah. Hey, Doug, I wasn't around for this, and maybe this is a rumor, but supposedly there was you in a conversation with some Arkansas fans, kids, before the game that ended with you walking away saying, I got to go get ready to beat you guys. Did that happen, and could you talk about that?
Yeah, just really playful. There was a couple of kids down the side. I always make my rounds during BP. I'll go walk over to Caleb and Gunner, who are on bucket, and I always just make my rounds. And there were some kids, they were having a good time, just kind of playing around, and they were kind of giving me a hard time. And then it was getting towards the end of BP, and I just said, all right, time to go beat some hogs. Here we go.
Cole, what was the pitch on that through-run homer, and kind of what did you see in that at bat?
Yeah, the pitch was a changeup, and the pitch before it was also a changeup. But with a guy like Nolan, he likes to throw the changeup, likes to throw the breaker. So I was just trying to see him up in the zone and get a good pitch to hit.
Cole, what's Houston meant to you guys? Like really the last month and the day he got to the top of their order and really kind of saved the bullpen a little bit.
Houston Roth is big time. He's really come on. He's making pitches when we need it and coming in clutch situations and getting it done.
I mean, for both of you guys, actually, what's your kind of mindset when you get to the ballpark and you look up at the flag and you see the wind blowing out for you as a hitter and for Doug on that?
Yeah, it's just keep the ball low, focus on really making pitches, and then trying to extend it when I get ahead in the count. Because you can make some mistakes and then just get lofty fly balls because you're trying to go up in the zone and you'll get some guys to pop up and then those balls will float out. So it's mostly just working lower in the zone.
Yeah, for me, it's kind of the same. I'm just trying to hit the ball hard. The good part about the wind blowing out is if you miss it a little bit, it can still go.
For both players, Gray mentioned yesterday how y'all play y'all's best with your backs against the wall. I think you're like 5-0 in your last 5 elimination games. What is it about this team that allows y'all to keep coming back and coming back?
I think it comes from the challenges that we face throughout the season, and it just kind of puts us in that. When we get in that situation, we're able to handle it because we've been through it, and we have experience there.
Yeah, building off what Zebo said, I think we perform best when kind of like the mantra to this whole postseason is like we don't know what tomorrow is going to bring, and we have to make sure that we do our jobs today, and we can't look past today. And that's kind of what kept us on our toes. And I think that we were never really comfortable. Not to say we weren't comfortable, but we weren't ever content with what was going on, and we were always trying to make sure that we really poured it on them.
Both guys with the game 3 tomorrow. You guys jumped on them today. The Razorbacks, they kind of got y'all yesterday. What can we expect? A lot of offense, or what do you guys think of both guys, please?
I bet a good baseball game. We're two really good teams, and we've seen that the past 2 days. We can both hit, we can both pitch, and we can both field. So tomorrow, I think it's going to be a good game.
Yeah, both the teams are going to be on their toes. They're going to be really trying. They're going to be giving it their all, and everyone's trying to get to Omaha. So I expect the game to be a really good game, and I expect it to be just something that's going to be really special.
Doug, can you kind of talk us through how you got out of that third inning with the bases loaded there?
When the bases got loaded, I just it's better for me because now I know that they can't really score off anything unless they really get a hit. So like that bunt that he did to get the bases loaded, it was like, all right, but now I can go from the windup, I can get kind of into a rhythm. And when I had that long at bat with Kerstad, he was just really, really good hitter, so much bat control, and he was just kind of poking everything. And then eventually we just decided to trying to throw that ball a little bit off and see if he'll try and hack at it, and the ball kind of cut back over onto the plate and got that corner. And then the next guy after that, it was just once the momentum was back on our side, then I just threw a changeup to get him to pop out.
Yeah, I guess for both you guys, I assume Gunner's going to go tomorrow. What do you feel? I mean, how do you feel about him going in a winner-take-all game?
We have a lot of confidence in Gunner. He's been there all year, and you know, he's a big time player. He's going to be able to make pitches and get the job done.
Yeah, like Zebo said, I think he's become a guy that like lives for these moments at this point, and I think he's going to really rise to the occasion, and he's going to just be stellar for us, give us a lot of good innings, and get the win.
Any more questions for student athletes? Gentlemen, thank you. All right, same thing for Coach Bianco. Raise your hand. We'll get a mic too.
Mike, I know the offense was kind of the story today, but Houston on a day where the ball's flying out gives you guys 4 scoreless and kind of helps preserve the pin. Just what do you think of his outing today?
Thought he was really sharp today, and you know, as you know, Brian, he's pitched really well down the stretch for us, and but that's as good as I've seen him against a really good offense. Just a good mix, you know, with the fastball, breakable, a handful of changeup, fastball both sides. Yeah, he was really sharp today.
Proud of your guys for just keeping swinging there once they cut it 8-5, and you didn't kind of settle, got the big hits.
Yeah, you know, we scored 8 early, and then you know they put some zeros up, but I don't think we had a bad approach. I don't think we had bad at bats. It's just, I mean, let's face it, they're really good, and you can't score every inning. But you know, glad that we stayed locked in the whole game, because you need to. I think, you know, Doug said it. I mean, you know, this is it. You know, you win, you keep moving on. You lose, you go home. And you know, they know that. They don't need to be reminded that. But I was proud of the way we continued to swing throughout the game.
Mike, you've had a lot of teams that are good in elimination games, but what is about this one? Does anything surprise you as far as how
You
good
keep
they've
asking
been?
that question.
Yeah, well, true.
I don't know if I can give you that quote that's going to make your story. I just know they're. I will say, you know, one of the, I think, is a huge factor in it is when they don't look nervous. They look. I think if you were in the dugout, you know, they look like a team that's you know 1-4 in a row or 5 in a row. They don't. Somewhere along the line, and we talked about it. Somewhere in the SEC tournament, we kind of found that, and maybe in the most pressure packed parts of the game, they do play loose and they do play with a lot of confidence.
Mike, when you guys fall behind yesterday, you decide to preserve Houston and Austin and Parker and all those guys. Is this kind of the position you were envisioning to have just most of your bullpen available going into the game tomorrow?
Well, you know, and part of it was to get Myers off the field and you know, so he would be available in Game 3. It's just how it turned out, you know, and you know, it's really, you know, the game just got too extended to where, you know, you got to win 2 of these, and it didn't look good, you know, in Game 1. So Chofe, you know, probably Chofey was, you know, a big factor in that, to be able to put some zeros up at the end and really let it get not too embarrassing, you know, for us. But now you go into you know, Game 3 with Miller haven't pitched yet, and of course Gracie, but Cronin hasn't pitched for them either, and they got a bunch of guys that haven't thrown over there either. So you know, it should make, you know, for a really good game tomorrow.
And Coach, I know I guess Gunner pitched against Arkansas and Wicklander pitched against y'all, but not in the same game. What are your thoughts on Gunner and Wicklander?
Well, obviously, you know what the guys said about Gunner. He's pitched just about every Game 3 for us, you know, almost the whole year, and really, as you've seen in this league, you know, some of those freshmen kind of get better as the year goes on, and he certainly has been that guy. You know, his last 3 or 4 outings, he's been, you know, terrific for us, and so, you know, we feel, you know, probably like they do, and I think, you know, Wicklander's, you know, like probably similar to where, you know, he's come on at the end of the year and really solidified, you know, I think their rotation, and so, you know, probably both scenarios for both of those guys.
You mentioned finding something at the SEC tournament. What's your approach and philosophy about that tournament? You know, some coaches want to stay out of the heat and not, you know, overextend.
Well, we had no choice to stay out of the heat. We played at 1 o'clock every day except for one. I think we played at 9:30. So you know, no choice of that. I get it. You know, you don't want to I'm not worried about the heat. I mean, you get a week before the regional, and you know, at the end of the day, they're 18 to 22-year-old guys. They should be able to handle the heat a little bit. I think the thing that people talk about is, you know, the arms, and you got to be careful with that because the tournament can get long, especially, you know, for a team like us that started on Tuesday. But at the end of the day, it's an SEC championship, and we won it a couple years ago, and we know how special that is, not only for the players and the team, the program, but for the fans. And so, you know, I guess he's asked the approach. The approach, I think, is to go win it.
Any more questions for Coach Bianco? Coach, thank you.